All right, at this time, I will entertain a motion that we exit executive session. Mr. Goodnow, second. Mr. Proctor, any discussion? All in favor? So moved. And that will take us to item E on our agenda, the public participation portion of our meeting. Dr. Finney, do we have any members of the public sign up to speak this evening?
No one has contacted me about speaking on any non-agenda items, and no one has signed up to speak on any agenda topic.
Okay. So that will take us to item F, that the Harris County Board of Education review the attached meeting minutes from the board meetings held in August of 2025. I trust that you will review those, and if you have any amendments or anything that needs to be changed, please get with Miss Ashley about that, and she will get those corrected, and we will vote on the 2025 meeting, August 2025 meeting minutes at our next meeting next week. So that will take us to our discussion agenda in item G1, that the Harris County Board of Education listen to a curriculum update from Dr. Denny and Dr. Patterson. Good evening.
So I know I've already submitted this to you, but I wanted to give you a chance to ask any questions. Oh, sorry about that. I know I've already submitted this to you, but as you know, at this time of the year, we present to you our numbers for our cohort withdrawal, which is how we figure in our high school graduation rate. As you can see, I usually do give you the previous year and then the current year, and we do have better numbers this current year than we had the previous year. Not that the previous year was bad by any means. How we come up with the cohort withdrawal is we have to, or in this case, I have to account for every child who did not graduate in the month of May with their cohort. And they started with the 9th grade. Everybody who enters the 9th grade is considered part of the Harris County High School cohort. And then they take the number that graduated in May, which according to the Godot portal is 423. When we run Aquarian Infinite Campus, we get 422. We'll go with what Godot has. We have to take that amount, and then all those others who entered the 9th grade, we have to look at why they did not graduate with our kids in May. Now, if you look over on the left in the red and green box, you can see that we had 581 kids who either entered in the 9th grade and came into our district in the 9th grade, or they came into our school at some point in the 10th or 11th or 12th grade. And that is where we get that 581. That's all the kids that enrolled in Harris County High who should be part of the 2025 cohort. And then when you look at the table on the far right, the 426, that's what we have on our record as having graduated. And we have to explain every single child who did not walk with those kids, who did not get a diploma. And sometimes it's just a matter of them withdrawing and going to another school district in Georgia. Sometimes they leave the country, sometimes they leave the state. We're not penalized for that. What we are penalized for is what you see in the table on the right. If they are still active, meaning they didn't have the credits to graduate, if they were withdrawn due to lack of attendance, if they went to get their GED, then that is counted as dropout. And there was one that is unknown that we tried very diligently to track that student down, and even the student's family could not give us an answer. But those are our numbers. And what we do is we take that top number in yellow, then we add the other numbers, and that gets us the 449. And then we take the top number in yellow and divide it by 449, and that is a prediction of our graduation rate. Yes, sir?
Says homeschool study. Those kids that are homeschooled, are they allowed to choose a high school to graduate with, or they do not walk with anyone, or what?
They graduate from their homeschool program. They are actually withdrawn from Harris County High School.
Walk with no one.
They can walk, but they don't choose to usually.
But they could choose to walk with us if they,
I believe there was some legislation coming down to give them that opportunity. I do not know if that has passed or not, but I can look into it and send you the answer. I can send the answer to Dr. Feeney and he could forward it to you. We some dialogue at legislative level, but I don't know if it passed, but I will look into it. You're welcome. Are there any other questions? And then as you see on the next page, the AP score comparisons. And this is another one that I give to you every year. Once again, you can see that Harris County High School's AP scores greatly surpass those at the state level and the global pass rate. And we do call it global instead of national because the College Board does administer those exams. They allow kids in other countries to take those exams. Global, yes, instead of national, because they allow kids in other countries, in foreign countries, to take AP exams. We did. Now that's not a reflection of how the percentage of kids in the other countries that take the exams. And so I invite your attention to the fact that we may have some kids that, it may look like pass rate is not that high, but then you have to also look at the pass rate of the state and the global, and you see, well, yeah, it's consistent all the way around. It's apparently a difficult exam for all students. And then we have some where our kids did an amazing job and like with 100% pass rate, and that's not the case with other districts and other countries. Any other questions?
I have a question, Dr. Patterson. So what is our current graduation rate? Is it calculated?
I can give you a guess that it's going to be about 94%, but somewhere between about 94. Of the graduation rate. I don't know what it's going to be for this year yet, but I can tell you that last year it was a little over 90%.
Right.
So that's a good
Okay.
jump. And that is a result of a lot of documentation when the kids withdraw from high school. Miss Jennifer McCosh, the registrar, does an amazing job of collecting the documents because we cannot say that a child left to go homeschool. We cannot just take the word. We have to have a declaration of that letter of intent on file before we can sign saying that they homeschooled.
I don't know if this is an appropriate question here, but children that are homeschooled, do their parents have to turn in a report to the school system periodically of what they're doing?
They report to the state.
To the state, not to the school system?
No, they have to give to us, when they withdraw, they have to give to us a letter of intent that they get from the state. They can get it from us, but it's the letter provided by the state. Any other questions?
Yes, I do have one. On the column, I guess I'm assuming that's computer science 8.
Yes.
The 5th one over.
Mhm.
Is that a really tough class or what's going on there? Because I know our pass rate is not very high.
It is a tough class and it's a second semester. What we do is we put computer science principles with the same teacher as computer science A, and the computer science A are some kids. Some of those kids were not in computer science principals and they just came in. And so when you compare that to some of the year-long classes, it does show a discrepancy.
Thank you, ma'am.
Sizemore is very interested in that. She's been looking into ways to provide support.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. Any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, good evening. Just going to talk briefly about Georgia milestones. So on the next 2 pages, you should see these charts here. And we've talked milestones before, so we really know the results. What we haven't seen due to being embargoed is how we did compared to the RESA in the state. So if you look at the chart, Harris County is in gold, RESA is in orange, and the state is in gray. And then what you should see, or what should stick out right away, is that for the most part, Harris County is well above the state and well above RESA in many areas. And again, we've talked about these before. The key thing here is we just now have that comparison to RESA and state.
Excuse me, Dr. Tank, which other systems are in our RESA? Do you mind me?
Let's see, East Coweta, Troop, Harris County, Heard County, Carrollton City, I believe.
Carrollton City.
Is it Carroll County or
Carroll County and Carrollton City.
Did I say East Coweta?
Yeah, Coweta,
I mean,
Coweta, Heard, Troop, Carrollton City, Carroll County.
oh,
Meriwether.
and Meriwether. Don't forget them.
I don't know how we forgot Al Griffin. And Heard.
Seven school systems.
Any other questions?
Everyone that teaches that, I mean, that's just, it's sad though, when you look at what performances in other areas of the state.
Very. We do an excellent job in Harris County with our students. Our teachers are amazing. All right, thank you.
All right, so that will take us to item G2, that the Harris County Board of Education listened to. The resources update from Ms. Carlisle. Good evening.
Good evening. Okay, this was submitted to you back on the 29th, and I share with you the vacancies and jobs pending. As you know, things are always changing, and we've had a few things. We currently have 3 primary openings, the top 3 that are listed there. So we're looking good in that regard. And down below, I listed just some back to school updates on our personnel counts to let you see. And even since that time, it's changed from 793 to 798 total. Overall, just you've got kind of an idea of how our staff is laying out. Teachers are about 45% of that group when you look at that number. So our teachers, I mean, that's where it happens, is in the schools. So we're at about 46% of our staff is teachers. Our classified support staff's about 27.3%. Our parapros between SPED and regular general ed parapros is around 17%. So just kind of giving you a look at our staffing, and I'll have more reports, probably an annual review at our next board retreat, kind of looking back to let you see how we're doing with our HR metrics, but I'm looking forward to some positive results. And also kind of looking back to August, I know we didn't do updates because we had met with you prior, but the HR department, we're on the road at the schools right now, and we're really enjoying being in the schools, introducing the new Harris County School District Employee Handbook. Ginger and I are going to each school. We're either meeting with whole faculties or in smaller groups. However, the principal thinks it works best for their schedules, and we're kind of bringing the handbook to their attention, how it was created, how it's formatted, and then emphasizing a few things that are new or different. And the whole point of that is to improve, one of our strategic priorities is internal and external communication, and this is just a part of that, to make sure that everything is clear, it's consistent, and we've got great expectations and norms across the board. And then we welcome the faculty as they go through it. If they say anything that they don't think is in alignment, or if it's vague, or they need more information, they can absolutely send that to us. So we've sent a survey out, and if they have things they need clarification on, we go ahead and try to look at that before we get to their school. But so far, the visits have been really, really pleasant. We've really enjoyed being out there. And then back in August, just a list of training. We went ahead and worked with each school on their workers' compensation review of how they handle accidents in the workplace. So we're prepared for a new school year. We're wrapping up a summer of substitute teacher training and updates. The HR team, we've been involved, summer goes through August for us, but still involved in training. But coming up in this month, starting next week, we're looking at a student teacher fall review, looking at student teachers placed within our district, looking at them as they grow. And we're going to start scheduling our first 90-day talks with all of our new hires. We'll start scheduling late September into October. And that's always a really a positive experience, and we learn a lot from our new employees on how we can be even better. So we're looking forward to that. Yes.
On your 90-day employee talks, is that like a revolving 90 days? I mean, as we hire, their 90 days.
We started we can look at it, but what we started last year is within the first 90 days, we like to sit down with every new hire and just kind of ask questions and just listen and just get feedback. And we go across a lot of aspects of just employment, school culture, support, that type of thing.
Guess my question is, I know we hire somebody every month.
Right.
So are we continuing always doing those 90 days with every?
That's a great point. That's a great point. When someone is hired mid-year, we meet with all, if you're hired tomorrow, we'll have a September new hire orientation. So every month we're having a new hire orientation, and that's done virtually. But you have an excellent point that we need to look at new hire first dates and then kind of move beyond this to follow them. So that's a great idea. I hadn't thought about that. So that's good. And then we've got CPI season coming up. That's where human resources and finance merge together, payroll and HR, and they work on looking at our personnel and making sure certifications match the classes they're in. That helps to get funding from the state. So that's there's a little adjustment in July, but October is the big month. And then March, there's an adjustment. So it's a critical time. And that's what we're doing.
And I know it's probably obvious, but these new teachers, the 30, now those are included in the 360.
They are. They are. Any questions?
But we didn't start any of our schools or anywhere where we were short of any personnel.
Where we started without a teacher. We had that one position we were looking for ag, you recall. The schedule was changed around to adjust because we hadn't recruited that individual yet. So, but we started, fully staffed.
How do we stand on that ag teacher?
It's still open. It's a difficult time of year.
possibility.
Well, September, most people are under contract, and graduation from colleges don't come back around until December. I mean, it's a highly specialized field. A lot of districts in the state of Georgia are looking for those great ag candidates. So
It falls in your area, but I'll go ahead and ask, have you got a date for the teachers of the year, support personnel of the year, get together at the football game? Do you have
October 17th. Mr. Torrance Phillips we're kind of transitioning, so we're working together on that. The teachers of the year, the tour classrooms is being scheduled for mid-September, and they're preparing their district teacher of the year package. And then we'll do the traditional, we'll have, barbecue and commons area, bring their families, then go out on the field. So we're looking forward to that. But we'll send you a invitation on that. A request for no rain. If you could put that in, that would be great.
Any other questions? All right, thank you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
All right, that will take us to item G3, that the Harris County Board of Education listen to a business services and technology update from Mr. Fisher. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. So got a few things to go over with y'all tonight. First thing is going to talk about, wrap up our summer projects when we finish those up and everything. With the stadium, we had the 3 projects there with the turf that was completed on June 26th. The track was all but complete, July 25th. They couldn't do the striping, which is, that's the only part that wasn't done because, as you remember, into July and August, it rained almost every night, it seemed like. So they had to, the track had to be so dry for them to be able to do that striping to take and all. They were, yes, sir. They did the striping 8/18 that week. It took them about a day and a half. So it's all striped and ready to roll now. And so that's complete. We did the walkthrough with them earlier this week and signed off on that. And then the scoreboard was finished August 1st. We got that done, all the training done and everything operational. Next, we had the auditorium. It was ready, except for a few things that we had to get adjusted July 24th. And then they finished up those things last week. It was getting nameplates on stuff, correcting a layout issue that we had discovered. So that's all done and ready to go and looks really good now. Creekside, we had the painting in the interior of the school that was finished up June 13th. And then went straight over to Park from there. Actually, they were finishing up Creekside and starting at Park all at the same time. So there's some overlap there. They finished that July 2nd. And then the erosion repair, he wasn't able to get started on it when he wanted to because of rain. It just kept on raining. You can't dig when it's raining like that, just going to collapse everything. So he finished a little bit later than he originally anticipated because he was a week and a half late getting started. But he got done with that July 15th. And then we got the fencing up the next a week and a half later because they were just trying to get that all lined up and didn't know when he was going to finish. And they just had to commit their resources to be able to do that. And then the last thing we had was the Mulberry Creek gym floor replacement that we did there. It was done, it was completed August 5th. And then we had a couple things where we noticed that something wasn't quite right, had them come back and they finished that on August 15th.
Mr. Fisher.
Yes, sir.
The gym floor replacement at Mulberry Creek, it has one of those floors like the new gymnasium at the new middle school.
Yes,
correct?
sir.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's what I thought.
Any further questions?
I do.
Yes, sir.
Please accept my apology when I ask this question. So with the new track going around this field, and I know lots of people use the field, lots of things get happen, i.e. band, that kind of stuff. What will be allowed on that track, if anything, other than tennis shoes and cleats? I mean, can they roll stuff across it or any of that kind of stuff?
Yes, I can roll stuff across it. One of the concerns that was brought to our attention was a ATV type vehicle with the gripping tires that dig into the track. Then we can't allow that because that will tear up the track, especially you go to turn on it hard and everything, it'll tear up the turf as well.
So it's okay, like, I think our band uses forgive me because I don't know my instrument, a xylophone, I think
Yes,
it is. That's on rollers. I mean, is it okay to roll that across the?
In the event that we have to, heaven forbid, but we have to put an ambulance on that field, it can take
Yes,
that.
yeah.
It's designed to take that. Okay.
Just, we don't want to go in repetitive, the same thing over and over. That's
No.
what we're trying to prevent. We've got the track protectors down already for the football players when they come out and on, just trying to, because you keep going the same place over and over, it's going to wear it out. So that's to help minimize that wear.
Well, and also I think about, I guess it's really scaffolding, I guess, that the drum majors use for the band. Are those on rollers? I just can't.
I believe so.
I don't know if they roll that same path.
Right.
Or
You say the same thing, like repetitive every other day at most. Yeah, we're just trying to reduce that, minimize that stuff. Okay. Now for the not so fun part, transportation. The beginning of the year was a little rough. We got the new software. We're making those transitions and everything. We found that a lot of the issues in our routing for our students wasn't so much that we missed them as the new routes that they wanted or new students that needed routing did not complete the forms to get forwarded to us with the information that I need transportation essentially. And so they didn't get sent to us. They didn't complete them. It was like a signature or something like that. The same way they do it within the OLL process. So they didn't get those sent to us. So that's where we're missing some students. There was a few that didn't make it over in the transition from the old software to the new. We got those corrected. There was a couple of days where we ended up getting, I was standing with one of the routers when they started getting emails. It ended up being 68 emails in about a 5-minute period of notifications of routing, student need to be routed on. So they got those all knocked out. They're caught up today. They're able to schedule them as they get them now and knock it out that way. Then as we were doing that, our parent app, we come to find out that about 22 of the tablets did not get the cellular provision. Basically, it didn't get unlocked like your cell phone. 22 out of 115. So some people's were working because the tablet and all was working, other people's weren't, and we were trying to figure out what was. And when we figured it out, I had called the company and said, I need this many tablets because these just aren't working. And about 2 hours later, that's when they came back to us with, this is probably why. They could figure it out somehow. I don't know that those didn't get provisioned with the wireless part. We got that done, knocked out a lot of that on a Thursday, and it worked pretty good Friday. You know, there's a couple tablets we're still trying to get it done with, had to run them down. And then when we came back Monday, their whole system crashed. It wasn't just us. It was their whole company-wide system. They had done some updates over the weekend and it caused it to crash. So the timing, all that just really looked bad and it was impactful, no doubt. But they got it back up running by about 8:30 that morning. Well, all of our routes were pretty much done by then. I don't think we have anyone that runs that late except maybe something with a midday getting ready to go down to Columbus for our special needs students. That afternoon, it was a little bit better. They still had some performance issues on the speed side, but it's gotten better. And now we've got it and we're hardly getting any calls now. The biggest complaint about the app is it didn't do what the other app did. One of those big things is not being able to see your bus the whole time. Well, and we had discussed this before. You know, the question was asked, is it going to, are they going to be able to see this bus the whole time? And we were told that it was going to get fixed where they wouldn't, because we all know that's a safety issue. Parent can come up behind the bus, track it down, kid come up behind the bus and it's dark and driver never see them, catch them with the tire or something. So we're right now they cannot see all the way through, and there's no plan for that to happen. They have a geofence window that can go out to 3 miles. They get notified when the bus enters that geofence, so they can have that little bit of time to go out, especially when it gets cold. I get it, but we just can't let them see where the bus is the whole time. There's just too many safety concerns.
Mr. Fisher, can you, I know we know the reason why, but can you, for the public, can you tell us why we made the switch to the easy routing software?
So there was a few things. The previous software, we're actually having to do things double. We were doing it in the bus ride software and the older VersaTrain software because they didn't work together. That was one thing. So everything we're doing was double. A lot of the work we were doing in the bus ride side of things wasn't keeping, it wasn't staying. It kept on reverting back and they could never get that figured out why. And so it just became like we're just spinning our wheels and nothing happening. And they were about $30,000 more than what we're having to pay for the new software, in addition to the money we're having to pay for VersaTrans. So it comes out to about $30,000 to $40,000 per year difference. And there's multiple counties around us that uses the easy routing as well, that have had wonderful success. The timing, everything did not look good on the company. I have a call tomorrow with the CEO, Mr. Val, and myself, to sit down and talk about
where we need help, what didn't work good, what we think, and what can they do to help us going forward.
Very good.
Then can I ask one other question?
Yes,
On the easy route, going forward, Mr. Fisher, I know if we know the tablets are all programmed correctly,
Yes.
it works. But also we had kids because of the online registration or needed a bus route and that kind of stuff. Do we have any plans in place? I mean, based off what we've learned this year to help alleviate that in years going
Yes,
forward?
absolutely, yes. And as we're going through, that's how can we keep this from happening next time? Now that's, once we get it resolved and everything and get the customer satisfied, then we're, okay, how did this happen? What can we do to prevent it going forward?
any other questions regarding transportation? Go ahead.
All right. Facilities. Last Thursday, I was in my office and got a call from Tim Welsh, our ABM maintenance people. Said, you need to come up here to Carver Circle area. I need you to come up and look at this roof. We'd gotten a complaint from the elections people that it was leaking on some of their equipment. Also, I asked them to go up there and look. When I got up there and looked, it is in bad shape, the area. The roof, there's a hole exposed, probably about the size of $50 to size of where you can see into it. And that's where rain and stuff are coming from. One roof is pitched where it comes into that area on top of it. So anytime it rains, it's coming in there. So I got in contact with our roofing people. They got out there yesterday, get thrown off with Monday being out. And they haven't got to me about what it is going to take and everything, but I anticipate that probably tomorrow or Monday to find out. I just wanted to give you all a heads up that this is something we're going to have to address sooner rather than later.
So have they addressed it with some sort of temporary?
Yes, there is a temporary right now. It's got the tarp and everything on it, but those are only going to last a month or two at best because they get dried out with the sun and all.
Okay.
All right, down to our safety, Centegics. We got that installed. It's about 98% complete. We got a couple things where some devices aren't quite working right as far as when the alarms set off at a school, the takeover of a computer is at a different school, which was kind of crazy, but it's partially where things are showing up assigned to, and they've gotten moved without. So we're getting those cleaned up. Some of the alert stuff, the SROs and myself, we're getting all of the staff alerts. We've gotten that cleaned up now. So they should only get their alerts for their school unless there's a lockdown at any of our schools, and they will all get the alert about the lockdown. So we're finishing up now, working with our local law enforcement agencies, the EMA and everything to make sure we got all that together, that they're getting notified and all those things. It is active right now. I could push the button right now and we would get an alert. Yes, sir.
Have all the teachers been,
Yes. The
trained
schools have
on-
done their training as well. They came and did the responder training the week of the 18th and 19th. They did it over 2 days, including here in the central office. And all those responders were trained. Then the responders, the administration went back and trained their teachers because it's a lot easier for the teachers. It takes
Do you,
minutes.
do you anticipate having some kind of drill to see how they react?
Yes, one of the things we talked about is with the system, you can do a drill lockdown and it won't notify the 911 and all them. So that's something we're looking into once we get everything set up and all, and everyone feels good about the system. We want the students to be able to see what happens, what it looks like when this goes off. So there's hopefully not as much panic should we ever have to do that.
Well, from personal experience with the old school where I was, when it becomes sort of real, people react a whole lot differently.
That's right. And if you haven't done it, it's even worse. So that is part of our plan, is to do a drill through there and working with the different agents, local agencies to implement that and do a full scale drill. And then about a year or so later. All right, all the schools completed their safety drills, the 10-day safety drills they had to do within first 10 days as mandated by state, the fire drill, the severe weather, and the intruder drill. And then they have to do fire drill within the 30-day window, and they have to do that every month. In November and February, they can substitute the fire drill for the severe weather, or the severe weather for the fire drill. And schools have the option to do that so they can be a little more in tune with their severe weather drills, as we're pretty good on our fire drills within the schools because you do them every month. It just gives them a little flexibility to stay on top of some of the others. And lastly, we have our evolve alert rate stuff information. There's two sets of graphs here. The top one.
Read this, Mr. Fisher.
I could, when I printed it, I could. The first two graphs there is the first 5 days of school. Yeah, it printed off really small once I converted it. So as you can see, the orange is where we have an alert rate. On the first day, we had a 27% alert rate, 22% the second day. Then we had the weekend. A couple of people probably went there. I know I was one of them, testing things and whatnot. Then on Monday, we came back, it looks like 23, then 17, and then 13. I can't make that out. I'm so sorry. But then if you look down at the second set, that is last week's information. And you notice those orange bars are a lot smaller. Part of that is we've gotten the processes ironed out and working a lot better. Students understand what's going on. I looked at it this morning. Overall for the district, we're at 10%. Alerts across all the 4 campuses. It's 10%. Yes, I did this on Thursday. It's the false alerts. It could be Chromebooks, the 3-ring binders, things like that. No, sir, they're not holding them up. They're passing them around. And some of that is part of the alert. Sometimes when they're passed around, they get too close and triggers it and whatnot, or the person grabs it too close. It's doing the pass around. So as you can see, it's getting a lot better. We're not having students late to class. So maybe what I've seen, the biggest issue is student drivers like to wait till the last minute to come through and come into the school. They want to hang out and then there's a big swarm of them while we're still finishing up buses. So
How are we doing about doors being left open that is not serviced by the Evolve?
they're not, they're closed. The schools
You
are
haven't had a
watching that.
problem with somebody opening to let a buddy in or something like that?
Because they're also monitoring that from where they can see and everything.
Very good.
Okay. And that's all I have for you this evening.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, so that will take us to item G4 with the Harris County Board of Education. Listen to a superintendent update from Dr. Finney.
Just a few things tonight. One thing you have there behind my sheet is a overnight field trip request for May 1st. Kudos to the high school to getting that way in on time. No, all joking aside, they are wanting to start planning that field trip so they can do fundraisers, things like that. They have been invited to the Parks Fest, the Music in the Parks Festival at Dollywood in May. So they're going to take the sound of the county on the road. They'll be arranging for charter buses, so we won't have to provide any drivers, and they'll be raising all the money for that trip. So you can look at that. Next on my list is October 7th is FTE count day. That's a very important day for all of us, so we're gearing up for that. Ms. Baker and the Student Information Services systems staff are getting ready for that. We've got a data cleanse next Tuesday where all the principals and data clerks, special ed leads, everybody that's involved in coding students for FTE will be there to begin cleaning up our data and doing that data comparison from last year to this year. So that's very important. The second half of this month, the second thing that's very important, as Ms. Cardall mentioned, is the CPI processes. So along with coding all of these students, especially with the innovative models that we're using in EIP, gifted, special education, all of that, it has changed the way we code teachers as well. So as I've mentioned before, we've sent some people to the CPI conference to become experts in CPI. Have a really good interlocking with FTE and CPI to maximize our state allotment for funding. So all of that's beginning here in October, and it's going to be very important for us, but we've got a plan and we're going to be ready for all of that. Next thing is Cognia accreditation. We're full on with Cognia accreditation. We've submitted our executive summaries. We are now working on the second most important part of it, which is going in and observing classrooms, not evaluating teachers, but evaluating what the students are doing with their observation instrument called Elliott. Don't ask me what that acronym stands for. I won't be able to tell you right off the top of my head. But if you're really interested, I can get that for you. But Dave, Dr. Denny and Dr. Patterson are getting a list of people together, leaders from the central office, along with administrators at the school, to be able to go to and see as many classrooms as we can to collect as much data for our accreditation visit that we can get through that. Then we'll have some other documents and processes that we'll have to go through, but Dr. Denny's doing a really good job in communicating with our lead evaluators and our assistant evaluators, and they are helping us along the way, so we're in really good shape with our Cognia accreditation. November 18th is the day that we have to be finalized with everything and submit all of our accreditation materials for review. They'll take a month to review them, work with us with revisions in that month, and then our final accreditation review report from them will be here on December 18th. I believe that's the day before we leave for Christmas. And so that's going to be a wonderful Christmas present to get our accreditation for the next several years out of the way. So I appreciate Dr. Benny, the administrators, everybody who's lending a hand to make that happen. I have mentioned, but I want to say this to everybody, is I'm working with Rob Grant and the county manager on the joint meeting for the Board of Education. We're looking at September 23rd, Tuesday. And if you guys would check your calendar and let me know on that, I will get that over to Mr. Harrell and Mr. Grant to finalize that. Other than that, that is all I have. Now, one disclaimer, you may notice that Ms. Baker didn't have any discussion items. It's because out of the 12 action items that we have, about 6 of them are hers. So, and some of them are pretty complex, so I'm going to let her speak on those when appropriate, if you will allow me, Mr. Chair.
Yes, be fine. So that will take us to our action agenda and item H1, that the Harris County Board of Education review for approval of the attached proposed FY26 local board training plan. To receive the required training credit hours, all training sessions must be conducted by a state Board of Education approved training provider. Dr. Finney.
Yes, so you see that most of the training will take place at the GSBA Winter Conference in December. I believe Ashley already has all of those arrangements being made. I actually think she's also working on the summer conference for that training as well, so that we don't hit one of those glitches again. But for the whole board training on the 23rd, the 21st, okay, for the whole board training on our quarterly board meeting, I'm talking to Mr. John Ramage to come down and give us an update on our capital outlay entitlements. And so I will let you know when and if he confirms that, but that will take care of the whole board training. So that completes our local board training plan that we have to submit for all of your credits and meet the DOE and GSBA requirements.
Very good. All right, so that will take us to item H2, the Harris County Board of Education review the attached proposed list of technology equipment to be designated as surplus.
So this is much like we always have for these surplus lists. You'll see a lot of various equipment on there that we will be surplusing. For those who are listening or might not know, we go through this surplus process as both a cost-effective way and an environmentally friendly way to dispose of these electronics that we can no longer use or refurbish. And so you can take a look at all of the various equipment that is on there. And I am subject to any questions that you would have on that.
And we still had some VCRs.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Does anyone have any questions for Dr. Finney regarding the surplus?
When do we
Technology.
get rid of those?
I'm sorry?
We actually get rid of those items?
I don't know what the pickup date is, but we contract with a company that comes and picks up all of those and appropriately disposes of them.
Any other questions? All right, so that's going to take us to item H3, the Harris County Board of Education review for approval of the attached proposed 2025-2026 district-wide organizational chart.
So this is another requirement we have to adopt our organizational chart. So it hasn't changed a lot. So you can take a look at that. I will be subject to any questions that you have. This is also published on the website.
This updated one will be after it's approved.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Anyone have any questions? All right. So that's going to take us to item H4, that the Harris County Board of Education review for approval of the attached proposed attendance awareness proclamation to be adopted at the September 11th regular monthly board meeting. Ms. Baker, I think he's queuing you up.
Good evening.
Evening.
So this is my first of many before you tonight. But September is Attendance Awareness Month. We brought to you last year for the first time ever an attendance proclamation. So we're bringing it to you again this year so that we can declare Attendance Awareness Month in the Harris County School District to make our families aware of the importance of attendance.
Does this go for our teachers too?
It's for students.
Yes.
Any questions for Ms. Baker? It's a lot of whereases and there tos and everything.
Yes. All important statements though, Mr. Ray.
Huh?
All important statements.
All right, so that will take, you just gonna hang out? I think you should.
Yeah, but the next one's not her.
It's not mine, so I'll just sit right here.
You sit right there.
All right, so that will take us to item H5, that the Harris County Board of Education review for approval of the proposed attached policy revision request to board policy IFBG internet acceptable use. Dr. Finney.
Yes, so this will have to be, tabled for 30 days, but this is in response to House Bill 351, which requires that we update our internet acceptable use policy. This is a big legislative item in the last General Assembly. It focuses on protecting Georgia's children on social media, basically. And so on the memorandum, you can see this, and I won't read every one of them to you, but it prevents students from using school equipment to access social media. It has to outline what our responses to that are. It has to outline what our responsibilities are. It has to outline what the parents and students' responsibilities are. And it has to provide a process by which we will investigate those issues when they occur. So what you have here is the draft policy, and it's comprehensive, but you will see that everything contained within this 3-page policy lines up with those front bullet points on the memorandum. This does not replace all of our internet acceptable use policies that we already have in place. Those will remain in place. This is simply an addition to that, and this will encompass all of those as well. And so as you review this, if you have any questions, please let me know. I won't get ahead on the next action item, but it's related.
Those numbers don't jive, is that right?
Yeah, there's a typo. Yeah, there's a typo there. It should be 351. Yep. This is IFGB. Oh, okay. Yes, they're the same, but I'll have to check and see which one it is. Yes.
Okay. All right, so that will take us to item H6. That the Harris County Board of Education review for approval of the proposed request to adopt policy exhibit IFBG-E or IFGB-E, Internet Acceptable Use Social Media.
So this is the exhibit that accompanies that policy, and so it's a separate document, so it has to be a separate, adopted by, on a separate action item. But this is the, exhibit that outlines the social media portion in depth of what's required under House Bill 351. And it outlines, social media by students, what the district responsibilities are, what constitutes social media. You'll see an extensive list back there on the second page that outlines what social media is. Typically, we think of social media as like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, but it's anything that students can interact. I always hate using the term in the definition, but interact socially with other people, to include cloud computing, shared document collaboration. All of that's considered social media. The most important thing in this document is that students are not permitted to access social media platforms except as directed by the school or the teacher on our devices. So what this is going to require is teachers and instructors, administrators in the school to understand when social media is appropriate and when it's not appropriate. One example is the use of YouTube. Under this new law, YouTube is heavily scrutinized as a social media platform, yet many of our teachers use YouTube every day to provide good instruction. So this exhibit outlines in detail all of the social media requirements under the law.
Dr. Finney, are those policies entirely new or are they revised?
They're not entirely new. Some districts have them, some districts don't have them, but that's why they came up with the new law requirements to ensure that all school districts have these required policies.
I noticed that both of those said draft and there was no places where we.
I see what you're saying. Yes, these are new documents that we have created based on the new law to make sure that we're
replacing old ones?
Not replacing old ones, adding to our old ones. Yes, sir. Complementing our old ones.
Dr. Sparks.
Are the computers going to be blocked? How do we prohibit the students from accessing this?
Yes, we do have software on the Chromebooks and the computers that will block social media access. That's going to be another thing that Jonathan and his team will be working hard on, is to make sure we have all the necessary safeguards in place to prevent kids from accessing it. Yes, I appreciate you letting me know that.
Any other questions? All right, so that will take us to item H7, that the Harris County Board of Education review for approval of the attached request for 20-day additional tutors. Dr. Feeney.
Yes, so we have two additional 20-day tutors that we want to add to our approved list, and these tutors have to be certified teachers. And so the two that we're putting up tonight are Christy Graham and Bonnie Simpson, both highly regarded in Harris County as effective teachers.
I knew she couldn't stay away.
I knew it.
Any questions regarding item H7? All right, so that will take us to item H8, the Harris County Board of Education review for approval of the proposed attached HB 268, law enforcement MOU. Dr. Penny.
Okay, so this is a requirement under House Bill 268, which is part of the new School Safety Act. And what it does is it establishes guidelines and protocols for sharing information between law enforcement that we work with and the school district. And so what you'll see in here is a lot of definitions. It's been a long day. A lot of definitions. Basically, it outlines when it is appropriate for the school to share information, student directory information with law enforcement and vice versa. So you'll see a lot of the definitions there, but when you get to page 3, you will start to see what the responsibilities are of the district and what the responsibilities will be for sheriff's office and police department responsibilities and mutual agreements by both parties. Basically, what it does is it ensures that we adhere to FERPA when we're sharing information. There are provisions in this policy, so I would encourage you to read it carefully. This is the draft that Greg Ellington provided to me today. So Greg is the one that drafted this in accordance with what the law requires. And it allows for us to share FERPA protected information in case of emergency, where it would be a severe threat to life and health of students and staff. So what we really have to work out is and train people on is what constitutes an emergency. You can't just have somebody, a law enforcement officer, come in and say, hey, I'm working on this other case. I want to know if this kid goes to school here. It has to be directly related. But again, this is required in the new House Bill 268 law. It streamlines the sharing of information between law enforcement and the school. For example, if we get a student from out of county that moves here and there is information of a criminal past or something like that, it gives us the ability to collect that information more so we can make a good decision. Same thing on the law enforcement side. So take a good look at this and let me know if you have any questions. Like I said, Greg Ellington drafted this and he will be here next week to also ask or answer any of your questions.
Look,
Yes, sir.
so this has been shared with Sheriff's Department?
No, we have to draft it, and then we will have to approve it, and then we will have to give our approved draft to them to approve.
Now, I notice in this a lot, they mention our sheriff's department because that's our county law enforcement, but it also lists on here officials from Georgia Emergency Management, Homeland Security,
Yep.
our local juvenile court system
Yes. Yes.
employees.
Yes.
So I'm assuming that they would have to provide proof of why they need this.
Yes, they would have to prove why they need it. It would have to constitute an emergency. Not only does it point out those state agencies or federal agencies in the local sheriff's department, but he also put the verbiage in their police department. So in case we're working with one of the local police departments, they would fall under this agreement as well. So in Hamilton. So we're going to have to present this to the Hamilton Police Department as well for approval. Yep.
So do we, I'm just gonna ask, so do we have to give it to GBI, FBI? Lynn?
No, they don't have to approve it. We have to approve it here with all of the local
Okay.
agencies. Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions regarding item H8? All right, so that would take us to item H9, the Harris County Board of Education review for approval of the attached proposed New Horizons Behavioral Health MOU.
Ms. Baker.
Ms. Baker.
Yes. This MOU has been in place now for going on the 4th year. New Horizons Behavioral Health received funding through the Georgia Apex grant to provide mental health services to local school districts. And we were one of those districts that they chose to partner with based upon our unfortunate suicides that we had at Harris County Carver Middle School. So this is an ongoing continued partnership with New Horizons. They provide the personnel, they fund their personnel, they find the personnel. We just provide the space for them. Students and parents have to sign a parental consent in order for students to participate in this program. And so far, it's been working pretty well. And I know this year, since the first time that we launched this partnership, we actually have the two people that they guarantee in the MOU to be on site. We have a licensed therapist as well as a case manager to provide support to our students at Harris County Carver Middle School.
Okay. Any questions for Ms. Baker regarding item H9? All right, so that will take us to item H10, that the Harris County Board of Education review for approval of the attached Georgia Hope Memorandum of Understanding.
Okay, I'm sorry.
So-
For the prior one, it says Harris County Carver School District. I mean, at the top of the second page.
That's what they have on the MOU.
I need, page 61, whatever, at the top.
At the top.
Harris County Carver School District.
Oh, yeah. I'll have them to correct that. So I'll give you a corrected version next week before you all sign it, or before Dr. Finney signs it. Okay,
Okay,
thank you.
so now you can speak on item H10.
Yes, this is a similar partnership that we have. I brought it to you last year from Georgia Hope, and they provide similar services to what New Horizon provides. It's a little bit different than the Georgia Apex grant because they operate through their own entity. This partnership was supposed to be effective from last year, October, until this year, October, but we had some hiccups with it. So we had to go back to the drawing board, sit down, do some troubleshooting, and reestablish what the expectations were. We've met with the Georgia Hope team members. We've met with our counselors. We've given the principals who are affected by this information on what this looks like. We have a local Harris County resident who will be working for Georgia Hope to provide these services to Creekside Intermediate, Harris County High School, the ELC and PLC. But these kind of replicate the same services, just different organizations, but for the same purpose. There's one person who's working, and the schools will provide some accommodations for the person when she visits their school. And these, of course, the same requirements, parental consent, they provide the people, they provide all the funding for them. All we do is provide the space and allow them to operate and provide those services to our students. They're licensed, yes. Yes.
So do our parents give consent prior to the school year or just prior to a visit? On these things? I mean, because I know we have to get parental consent, right? So when we get that consent, is it just prior to that student having that visit with one of these, or is it something we do across the board prior to at the beginning of the school year?
Both of those.
Both of those?
Yes. We put it out through Infinite Campus Parent Portal. And if a student is not signed up and would like to have services provided, they must have a parental consent before they can do so. You're welcome.
And that will take us to item H11, that the Harris County Board of Education review the attached proposed request to revise board policy JBCB non-resident students.
Yes. Hear me?
Go ahead.
Okay. All right. So we brought you this policy last fall to update, and we updated our requirements with the things that we would actually accept to show proof of residency for Harris County students to be, of course, in our schools. Well, a part of that list had passports on it. So after researching and after reviewing and establishing what would be acceptable, passports establish citizenship. They do not establish residency.
Correct.
So we're taking that out of the list, if you all would allow us to do so, and just keep the military ID along with the driver's license as a part of our required ID for registering parents.
But a military ID does not establish residency.
It does not, but a military ID shows that the service member is on orders, if they are attached to orders. It also shows that if a service member has a driver's license from his or her home state, they match, because military ID, I'm sorry, driver's license of military personnel don't have to be changed if they are going to be leaving their duty stations. So we use those in conjunction with, because their driver's license oftentimes don't match their residency, but their orders show that they are stationed here, so we can accept that.
The state law, Mr. Proctor, doesn't require that they live in Harris County when they first come here. All they have to have is a set of orders to Fort Benning. They will eventually have to provide residency verification, but initially they do not. They just have to be on orders. I would have to get that period.
Yeah, we would have to look, but along with that, Dr. Finney, if they have a residence in Harris County, they will have a resident that has their water bill in their name or some other bill that property in their name, and the driver's license along with the military ID match those names, then we know that they are residents of that location at that time. Correct. I just know that because they used to affect me, so I know how that works.
Well, Ms. Baker, it would also apply to our military members that could possibly be attached to that little Naval Reserve Center that's downtown, or one of the recruiting stations.
That is
So they would be attached to that, not Fort Benning, but
correct.
they would be folks that could get posted here as well.
That's right.
So that will take us to item H12, that the Harris County Board of Education review for approval of the attached proposed list of supplies and miscellaneous food bids for the 2025-2026 school year. Now I see why she's still here. It's food bids.
She had 6 of the 12.
Yes.
So this is something that we have to bring to you, that the state requires us to bring. And these bids allow us to, we use the word piggyback, but I'm going to say replicate the bids from Muskogee County, Carrollton, Fayette County, and some of the other smaller districts, because it allows for us to have better pricing along with better food. And we don't have to create our own. When we attach ourselves to them, we could just make our orders as they are. So this really helps us out with our monies as well as our food quality, along with the chemical bids that we have. And the state requires us to bring it before you to let you know that we are doing this bidding process and that they support the bidding process, that we are actually attaching ourselves.
That pretty much the same as last year.
Yes, it doesn't change. The only thing, I will say this now, the only thing that has changed from last year is the actual chemical bid. The company this year is Sanitech Systems Incorporated. But everything else is the same as last year.
So Ms. Baker, I know that our menus have to be put together by a certified nutritionist. Is that correct? And refresh my memory, Mr. Johnson is not, is he? Oh,
He is. He went to school.
That's right.
You get that?
He is.
Yes.
So we can make our own menus. We don't have to piggyback off of Columbus, who has a nutritionist or something.
The menus, just these items, so we can get better pricing so that we can have good menus.
I got you. Very good.
Yeah, I have to say, I was pretty disappointed. I didn't hear about wings until it was too late.
I didn't hear about it until Friday morning. So next time I'll make sure you hear about them, and they were good. Creekside, middle school and high school served them. They were good.
I have to say, I went around all over the district that day and you saw wings everywhere.
How many lunches did you eat that day?
I only ate one lunch that day, but you could smell wings in here. You'd go over to the other schools, you'd see wings. You'd pop into a principal's office, they'd be eating wings. They were everywhere.
Yep. Yes. He asked me, he was like, where am I going? That was on Friday. We normally do that to kick off football season. So we did it this past Friday. Kicked off football season last weekend. College football season. Let me put that in there. But the next time we have wings, I'll make sure that you all know, okay? Alabama. No. No. So is that it?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Baker.
So that will take us to our consent agenda and item I1, that the Harris County Board of Education review the attached major purchases report for August of 2025.
So as everyone knows, the August major purchases report is pretty long because we're still purchasing everything we need to open school and get up and running. So a lot of those big ticket items you'll see are some of our instructional subscriptions, textbooks. There's a whole variety of items there that we're happy to take any questions.
Mr. Fisher, I'm sure this one's yours. Transact Communications for Safe Drive 360. Is that the iPads on the buses? Gotcha.
And I see this is our insurance for the year.
Yes.
Does anyone have any other questions regarding the major expense report? All right, so that would take us to item I2, that the Harris County Board of Education review the attached financial report. And then Dr. Finney, I think you're going to let Ms. Seha up here for this, possibly.
Possibly, depending on your questions. So like I said, we're getting into the school year. We've spent what we need to get up and running. That's where the majority of the expenditures are, in July and August to get up and running. We will temper that back for the next few months until December, looking at purchasing what we need. You can see down there, though, that the ending fund balance of $5,394,000. That's a very tight fund balance. So we'll be watching every penny we have until we get to December. Moving down to the bottom, I always forget to move down to the bottom, the East Plus balance there, 3,000,005 in the East Plus balance. And it kind of looks like our East Plus revenue per month is creeping back up a little bit. But we would like to see that East Plus balance get back up over 400,000.
So the current East Plus balance, that still has money that's already accounted for and spent on projects, correct? That just hasn't cleared yet, or is that current?
The ending balance is what we have on hand, correct, Ms. Sahel? Cash balance, yeah.
So are all of our summer projects completed and paid out?
Right. Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yes, they're out of that ending balance of $3,500,000. There are still some summer projects that we will be paying out of that.
That's
Yes.
That's what I thought.
Yep.
Mr. Chair, can I go back real quick to the major expenditures real quick?
No backsies. Yes, go ahead.
Mr. Fisher, this is actually for you. And I just don't remember if it was on last month. Have we got enough fuel? I mean, did we get fuel this month, or when would we last get fuel for the school year?
So we got fuel August, right at the beginning of school, right before school started. Before that, it was beginning of June, I believe. And we'll get it a couple of times a month.
Okay, so this,
Current school year.
so you got it, I mean, this is as of August 31st. Did we not spend anything on fuel last month?
Yes, there's one in there.
Is there? I just missed it.
Fletcher Oil. Halfway down, or about a quarter of the way down. Yep.
Thank you for certainly.
Okay.
Any other questions? All right, so now we'll move on to the enrollment report, that the Harris County Board of Education review the attached enrollment report for August of 2025.
So with the enrollment report, as we start a new school year, this is one of the most important pieces of information we have, because basically our student enrollment report directly relates to our FTE count. Our FTE count directly determines our CPI. So student enrollment is very, very important. Right now, you'll see that we're down probably about, I think about 60 to 70 students. I'll have to get that number together. But when you get back here to the graphs, you're going to see some of the graphs, most of the graphs are level or have trended down just a little bit. So you don't have the graphs, I'm sorry.
No.
I am so sorry. I will get Ashley to send those to you tomorrow. But trending down is not to the point where it's critical for us, for funding. What it does is it gives us a chance to catch our breath a little bit. The two things that or actually the three things I attribute the, trend down just a little bit is our pre-K numbers are low this year. Our kindergarten numbers across the board are low this year. And, I also attribute some of the decrease to our new residency requirements that we have implemented this last year. And so, we continue to look at all of the student enrollment across the board and every grade level in every classroom. And, you know, as the year moves on, we'll be adjusting accordingly, especially as we start planning for FY27. Here in October, we'll begin planning for FY27, and we'll be looking at all of those class numbers and projecting teacher numbers for FY27.
Creekside is way up though. Does that create any shortages teacher wise?
No, we made adjustments for that this year. If you remember, we added some teachers at Creekside, mainly special ed teachers. And that was the greatest need for Creekside.
So based on the pre-K numbers, Ms. Baker, are we in danger of losing one of our pre-K classes?
We are 35 students lower than our cap. But we project those numbers as we go along because we have that new growth.
And Ms. Baker, when we started projecting that lower number, she's been working with the pre-K at the state to allow us to have those lower class sizes. Yeah.
So we have vacancies
And
increasing.
keep all of our classrooms.
But nobody on the waiting list. Anyway. Can't you offer those waiting lists of the school to go to the other?
Yep.
So I've never asked this question, never thought about it until just right now, Ms. Baker. As children age up, can they come into pre-K as they change, or is it kind of like regular school to where they have
like regular school? Is that my understanding?
Say age up.
So as they turn 4 in the middle of the year, can they then come to pre-K?
It depends on when they turn 4. Pre-K age they should be 4 by September 1st. But if they are going to turn 4 like in the month of September, sometimes we do allow that. But not past the month of September.
So basically, they have the same requirements as regular school.
Yes.
Yes.
So if you allow them to enroll, if they have a late September birthday, then they wouldn't be eligible for kindergarten that next year, correct?
If they have a late birthday,
If it's late September, they
In
would
late
go.
No, in September, excuse me. Wherever the
September
cutoff is.
first, September 1st is the cutoff date.
yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
We don't allow that for kindergarten. They must be 5 by September 1st.
Yeah.
That's what I was getting at.
Yeah.
They would enroll in pre-K if they had that, when they turned 4 on September 15th, they would enroll in pre-K.
Repeat, okay.
That's what I was asking. So next year, if they have a September 15th birthday,
Next year, they would be 5 after September 1st. Right,
so they cannot enroll.
yeah.
So you're allowing them to enroll in pre-K. What do they do? Pre-K over again?
No, I've got that backwards. They have to
don't
be
enroll in
before September 1st. We don't allow them to enroll in pre-K.
Okay.
We cut that date off. I mean, sometimes there have been a case cases where students have turned 4 between that window. And they have gone to pre-K, but they turned 5 in the middle of that, and then they went on to kindergarten. But if they're gonna turn 4 afterwards, and it's a great distance between that September 1st date and their birth date, then they will not be able to go to kindergarten in those transition years.
We actually have more kids that would qualify for kindergarten wanting to go to pre-K, start in pre-K rather than kindergarten.
Yes, we had several cases this
Yes, several
year at
cases.
different schools where children had turned 5 earlier in the year. And they wanted those children to go to pre-K because they felt they were not ready for kindergarten. So that's why I had,
No.
well, that's why I had to call the state.
Can't do
The
that.
state has become our friend.
We don't.
They allowed it. Yes,
They
they allowed it.
Where does it go to the next people?
Well, that's up to the parents' choice. Yep. We tried to talk the parents out of it, but that's what they wanted. So we checked on it and the state said that we could do it, so we allowed it. Hmm?
So,
No comment.
so I'm gonna ask this question too. So say they were enrolled in pre-K this year and their parents decide they're not ready for kindergarten. Does the state allow them to do pre-K again? I
No,
didn't
they
think so.
cannot do it twice.
Okay.
They cannot do repeat.
We've had some of those.
Yeah, we did have some of those. Dr. Finney and I've had some interesting conversations between July and August.
Very well. Any other questions for Ms. Baker? Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so that will take us to item J, where members of the Harris County Board of Education share news and information they may have with the public. And this evening, I'm going to start with Dr. Sparks. Mr. Gooden.
Great job, next board. Great job on the test scores. I thought they were great. Other than that, no.
Mr. Green.
So, yeah, I mean, I did the math and I think our graduation rate was right at 95%. Is that correct, Miss? Yes, ma'am, but 90 point something,
I think he's asking the projected rate.
projected rate.
Yeah.
I think it's real close to 95%. So awesome job on that. I will say congratulations to our Lady Tiger softball team on representing us well in Colorado. I mean, I think they just went out there and just showed out. So I know they had a great time and I'm glad they were able to take that trip and I know they represented us well. And then I'll say congratulations to our cross-country team for placing second at the Stars Mill Invitation. I think that was last weekend. So, looking forward to, I'm hoping finally go to a football game this weekend. Of course, it's getting hot again, just in time. So, but, glad schools are rocking and rolling. Everything's rocking along.
Mr. Johnson.
I just, as always, want to say thank you to all I got it, I think. Okay. All the administrators and everybody who is still working hard to work out the kinks. The first of the year is tough. And I just want to say thank you so much for the hard work you do.
Mr. Proctor.
I guess I want to echo what has been said around the table here. And I'd just like to add, I'm glad I'm back amongst the living.
Dr. Finney.
Don't forget, next week's our Harris County High School visit, board visit. 12 p.m. We'll have the meeting and the executive session and meeting after that at 5 o'clock. We are starting our aspiring leaders course in September, so we'll have our second cohort of aspiring leaders. And we've already got applicants that we're in the process of approving for that. And soon to follow will be our aspiring principals course. So stay tuned for that. We have really, I think, benefited from the aspiring leaders course, and we're looking for some good applicants for our aspiring principals course as well. I've had the opportunity to visit a lot of the schools. We're off to a great start. Like Mr. Johnson says, just thank you to the teachers. Thank you to the to the administrators for all that you do every day. You go into these schools and it just looks effortless. But if you've ever been in that classroom or if you've ever had to be an administrator in one of those schools, it's not effortless. It's effortful, if that's a word, but it's very difficult, but they do it with style and grace and commitment. And so every staff member is to be approved and commended. So
That's it? Sorry.
yeah, that's it. I'm sorry.
No, you good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
Thanks.
Ms. Snyder, we're looking forward to our visit with you and your staff next week. I know you'll probably have a great group of kids that we'll get to meet with and fellowship with while we're there. It's always great to be with the students and your student leaders when we're over there. Welcome back, Mr. Proctor. It's glad to have you back at the table with us. So keep healing up. You look good. Glad to have you back. And I just did. And my thoughts and prayers are with the Lip family and the Gant family. I want to lift them up in prayer for their loss of some family members. So just keep them in your thoughts and prayers as the weeks continue because they're going to need some help. So we're there for you. Other than that, does anybody have any final words? All right, at this time, I will entertain a motion that we adjourn for the evening. Mr. Goodman, second. Mr. Green, any discussion? All in favor? We stand adjourned.
Hey,
Go ahead, Ms. Oliver.
oh, it's so good to see you, Harry. I'm so glad that you're doing well, and so great to see all of you tonight. We were just discussing. I was listening to the whole meeting as I was driving by Alcatraz, and I thought, anyway, they were talking about all kinds of interesting things and the history of the United States and all the things. So I just am really, really grateful for what everybody does every single day to help kids get the best opportunities that they can at every turn. So good to see you guys. Thank you for letting me come and be a part of the meeting through Zoom tonight.
Thank you, ma'am. So motion has been made and seconded. No discussion. All in favor of adjourn? We stand adjourned.